Do you know what is Raynaud's disease? Raynaud's disease is a rare disorder of the blood vessels, usually in the fingers and toes. It causes blood vessels to narrow when you're feeling cold or feeling stressed. When this happens, the blood can't get through the surface of the skin and the body part. Often the fingers and toes turn white, then blue, and red in response to trigger-like cold weathers. Primary Raynaud's happens on its own. It is usually triggered by cold temperatures, anxiety, or stress. There is also secondary Raynaud's, which is caused by injuries, other disease, and certain medicines. Doctors don't completely understand the cause of Raynaud's attack, but blood vessels in spasm overreact to cold temperatures. With Raynaud's arteries to your fingers and toes go into vasospasm when exposed to cold and stress. When exposed to cold or stress, narrowing your vessels and temporarily limiting blood supply, over time, these small arteries can thicken slightly, further limiting blood flow. Exposure to cold, such as putting your hands in the cold water, taking something from the freezer, or being in a cold air, is most likely to trigger. But for some people, emotional stress can trigger an episode. Connective tissue disease. Most people who have a rare disease that leads to hardening and scarring of the skin have Raynaud's. Other disease that increases the risk of Raynaud's includes lupus. Disease of the arteries. This includes the buildup of plaques in the blood vessels that feed the heart, a disorder in which the blood vessels of the hand and the feet become inflamed, and a type of high blood pressure that affects the arteries of the lungs. Carpal tunnel syndrome. This condition involves pressure on a major nerve to your hand, producing numbness and pain that can make the hand more susceptible to cold temperature. There is no cure for Raynaud's disease, but there are ways to manage symptoms. For mild forms of Raynaud's disease, covering exposed skin before leaving the house can help. If an attack occurs, soaking the affected parts in warm, not hot water prevents them from worsening. Raynaud's phenomena sometimes runs in families, but the inheritance pattern is unknown. Studies suggest that about 30% of the people with the first-degree relative who has primary Raynaud's phenomena also have the condition. That's all for today's topic, Raynaud's disease.